Right guys, crispy fried fish with a nice sweet, sour, slightly salty, warming sauce. Absolutely delicious and simple to make. Now we want to use a fish. I'm using what they call a sea perch or a barramundi in Australia. It's been cleaned and gutted, and we need to make some incisions along the side. We want about 4 or 5 incisions. Now we have to cut deep, but don't cut all the way through the fish. Now any fish can do, guys. You know, if you've got any sea fish or firm fleshed fish, that will do for this dish. So a good sea fish, you know, like cod or pollock, ideal. So once you've done one side, turn it over and repeat the process on the other side. So we want about 4 or 5 incisions along the fish. Now this is a very simple dish to make, so easy and really tasty. There's basically no work to it. So once we've got our fish with our incisions on both sides, we need to flour it. Now I'm using tempura flour with a pinch of salt. Now coat the fish well, but don't coat it too thick. So coat it well, but don't coat it too thick. And then what we need to do, we need to actually shake off the excess flour before we add it to the oil to fry. So give it a good coating and then shake off all the excess. We don't want too much on there, we just need the flour to aid in crisping up our fish. So give it a good shake it all off, and then into the oil. Now when we're frying fish like this, what we need to do is try and fry for about 5 or 6 minutes on one side to get it golden, but don't forget the tail end if it's a big fish. Now this fish is quite large, so I have to move it up to cook the tail end. Now once we've been cooking for about 5 or 6 minutes, what we need to do is just keep basting it as we go, because we want to keep sort of like even cooking it before we actually turn the fish. And then turn the fish over and we cook it till it's golden on that side too. Now what we don't want to do is keep turning the fish. What you need to do is cook it, let it rest in the oil whilst it's cooking, and then turn it. It helps to firm it up and not break up in the pan. Once you've determined the fish is cooked and it's nice and golden, we just need to take it out. Now when we take the fish out, guys, lift it and sort of drain it. Get most of the oil off before actually drain it on a rack or something, or a tray, or even a serving plate, but try and drain it off. And then what we need to do then, we need to make our chili garlic sauce. Now basically what we're going to do, you could put chili and garlic in a blender together and blend it, or you can do it individually like I'm doing. Blend the chili, blend the garlic, and then put a pan on, low to medium, 2 tablespoons of oil, the usual, give it a swirl round, and then in with the garlic. Now what we don't want to be doing, we don't want to be colouring up this garlic, we don't want to be burning it, so just watch the heat, turn it down a little if it's too hot, and all we need to do is cook the garlic to have a little bit of an aroma. We do not want to burn it. So as soon as there's an aroma coming off the garlic, in with our coriander root, give it a stir round, and then in with the chili. Give it all a stir round, and now this is sort of quite a dry mixture at the moment, so what we need to do is add our tamarind sauce. So add our tamarind sauce in there. This will loosen it all up, give it a stir round. So now we have a nice loose sauce which will not burn. So that's our sour component in our sauce. We've already got the heat in there with the chili. What we need to do now is add our sweetness. So in with the palm sugar. Just give it a gentle stir around. It will melt in there. And then we need to add our saltiness to our sauce. So what we're going to do is add fish sauce. Give it all a stir around. All the sugar should incorporate into the sauce. It should melt in quite easily. Now I'm using two different types of sugar in our sauce. I'm using the palm sugar, which gives it a different depth of flavour, and I'm also adding white sugar. Now you could add all white sugar if you wanted. Stir it round, incorporate all in our sauce. Add a splash of water just to help it along the way. Then all we need to do now is just cook it until it thickens. Now don't forget, taste and adjust as we go. Now I don't think this is sweet enough or sour enough, so I'm going to add just a little bit more sugar and a little bit more tamarind. Now obviously you adjust to your own taste, but this sauce should be sweet, sour and salty. So just keep cooking it down until it thickens slightly. Now you determine how thick you want this sauce. It still needs to be a pouring sauce so you can actually pour it over your crispy fish. There we go, that's my sauce done. All we need to do now is spoon it over our fish to serve. Now you can either spoon it over or you can pour it all over. All we need to do is get the sauce on the fish and then put a little bit of coriander on. Serve and enjoy. Now guys, don't forget, if you like the recipe, like and subscribe. Share with your friends. Until next time, take care.